Hi friends, I am Nirmal. So today's my topic is the four paths of yoga. So Vedanta tells us that there are five causes of suffering: not knowing who we are, clinging to things that are impermanent and having expectations, aversions, trying to avoid that are not real actually, identifying with the ego and cheating and creating separate realities. So fortunately, Vedanta also gives us the solution to overcome them. It tells us that by correcting the first cause and remembering who we really are, all other will cease to concern us. Yoga, the union of body, mind, soul, and spirit, is rediscovering who we are and returning to a life of joy, bliss, and freedom. Vedanta, recognizing that we each have different personalities and preference, others us, four paths of yoga or sets of spiritual practices to help us reach these goals. So friends, in life, we can act, we can think, we can feel, or we can do nothing. To act in karma yoga, to think is jnana yoga, to feel love is bhakti yoga, and to do nothing completely in samadhi, the final step of raja yoga and the goal of all. So first of all, we tell about the bhakti yoga. What is bhakti yoga? Bhakti is the yoga of devotions, ultimately to the divine, but it can initially be a guru, your family, a friend, or anything that creates strong emotional ties. In today's world, with so much chaos and confusion, it is said that bhakti is the easiest of the paths. It can be practiced by anyone regardless of mental or physical abilities and doesn't involve extensive yogis practice. So bhakti is the path of love which removes jealousy, hatred, lust, anger, egoism, pride, and arrogance. It replaces those feelings with the feelings of joy, divine, ecstasy, bliss, peace, and wisdom. The first line of a Fleetwood Mac song was "Drowning in a sea of love," where everyone would love to drown. This is bhakti, drowning in love. Vedanta says there is a fine thread made of pure love, that is prem, which connects your heart with the divine. The thread is the essence of bhakti. It's been lying dormant in your heart since the beginning of creations, hidden by layers of ignorance and suffering. However, no matter what you do or where you go, and this thread, our divine connection, can never be broken. This is what creates the deep yearning of your soul for joy and bliss. To be in love with someone or something creates separation. Bhakti is to be love, to be intoxicated with divine love. It is the unity of being in love with love itself. Vedanta says, put the emphasis where it belongs, on the divine self within each person. The Bhakti Yogi asks, what is it that I long for at the deepest level of my being, is pure in thoughts, words, and actions, looks for the divine in the ordinary, honors and respects all life, purifies the heart through devotions, sings, dances, chants, and listens to divine verses, surrenders by being open to everything, act as a servant, friend, or mother to the divine in every. People often says they don't have enough time for the spiritual practice, but of family commitments, bhakti is to make serving your family your practice. With bhakti, all attachments and end with bhakti, all attachments and accept the all absorbing love for the divine is re-established in the temple of your heart, and its love will go serve you for eternity. Bhakti is the journey to finally rest in God. Karma Yoga. Karma means action, and karma yoga is performing action without attachment to the outcome. It is the path and selfless service. Seva, we can say. You cease to identify with the ego, and all action is seen as an offering to the heart is purified, so egoism, hatred, jealousy, selflessness, and similar negative qualities vanish, creating space for humanity, pure love, sympathy, tolerance, and passion. So Karma Yoga is doing the right thing, the process of achieving perfections in action. It means following one's drama or dharma, true purpose, and accepting whatever comes without expectation of payment, thanks, and recognition. Lives life with passion but remain dispassionate about the outcome. Is effortlessness and graceful in all things. Has a loving, friendly nature. Is sympathetic, compassionate, and tolerance. Rejoice in the success and happiness of others. Feel neither above nor beneath anyone. Speaks and act truthfully. Vedanta also says that Karma Yoga is the warrior path, and the yogi should maintain a strong, healthy body, bear insult and compliments, comfort and pain, equally have faith in him or herself, knowing that the divine will also always love him or her, be adaptable to any situation and able to mix with everyone, have a calm mind, be fearless. With Karma Yoga, all desires eventually merge into one, which is to serve, ultimately serve to the divine. Jnana Yoga is the path of knowledge, or more correctly, wisdom. It is a meaning of to enlightenment through the process of reason, particularly the process of discriminations between what is real and what is not real, what is truth and what is untruth, through study and self-inquiry. It is said to be the most difficult path because it uses the mind and intellect to go beyond themselves, to finally realize you are one with the divine. The unpunished call it the razor's edge, where the ego is always trying to knock us off. It requires great strength of character, willpower, and when asked a question, Ramana Maharshi, a great Indian saint and Jnana yogi, would often reply, first ask yourself who is asking the question. Jnana Yoga is the study of the ancient texts and techniques of the great masters, but more importantly, it is the study of your own self. So, Jnana Yogi. What is Jnana Yogi? Studies the spiritual text of his or her traditions, read the words of great masters, asks the heart the following questions, and listens to the answer without judgment or evaluations. Who am I? First of all, ask yourself that who am I? What do I want? What is my purpose? What am I grateful for? Is mindful of the surrounding world, listens, reflects, and contemplates, practices indiscriminate and detachment. Meditate and take time each day to be silent. Now, what is Raja Yogi? So, Raja Yogi means the royal path. Just as a king maintains control over his kingdom, you must maintain control over your own kingdom, the vast territory of your mind. It is the path of meditations, mantras, and techniques. The basic theme of Raja Yogi is that your perception of the divine self is obscured by the disturbance of the mind. If the body and mind can be made still and pure, and the self will instantly shine forth. So Raja Yogi is the path most favored by Westerners because it can be practiced by almost everyone, requires no belief of particular faith. Raja Yoga says to believe only what you find out for yourself through direct experience. So how you maintain Raja Yogi? Maintains balance in sleep, diet, lifestyle and work, is in harmony with nature's rhythm, is pure and non-judgment, take responsibility for his or her life, has control over his or her emotions and remain free from worries, avoid distractions, train the mind through techniques of. Even though these four paths appear different, there is really only one yoga and union. One union. We may be drawn to one path more than the others, but they complement each other. As the saying goes, all roads lead to Rome. So, all paths lead to enlightenment. The paths are like four different strands, woven together to form the same rope, each one strengthened by the others. Choose whichever aspects of this path resonate with you and begin to incorporate them into your life. Look for joy in your daily practice and let it. So Krishna is telling that my sarvani karmani sannyasa. If you look at the previous verses, they are all buildings up toward karma yoga over here. And here Sri Krishna is telling that the perfection of karma yoga is my sarvani karmani. Therefore, offer all the fruits of your work to me. Renounce the fruit of your work. Sannyasa is there, but sannyasa is not just giving up to someone arbitrarily. It is to give Krishna my sarvani karmani. He says that bhoktaram yajna tapasam, that ultimately for all activities he is the beneficiary. So this also is taking about how karma yoga how Karma Yoga culminate in Bhakti Yoga. And of course, when we move toward or to Bhagavad Gita's conclusions, 18.66, Krishna is telling us to give up all subordinate. So if Karma Yoga leads to disentanglements of material existence, it also leads to liberation. In that sense, Karma Yoga is also good. But ultimately, it is Bhakti Yoga which is important, because that is the conclusion instruction of Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, as mentioned in 18.66. Also from a practical point of view, Bhakti Yoga is actually easier than Karma Yoga, because in Bhakti Yoga we have a clear object to fix. So we can fix our mind on Sri Krishna, whereas in Karma Yoga, because the conception of the absolute truth is not clear, so it is much more difficult to practice spiritually life effectively, and it is much more difficult to recognize, to internalize, to apply, how to sacrifice the fruit of the work, what to do the yoga for, what to think of when one is actually doing the yoga. So when people were more in Satugna at the time, they could think that I am not the body, I am not the soul, and try to act that level. But that is quite different in today's age. If we focus on thinking about Sri Krishna, we also get the higher taste in thinking about Sri Krishna, and that the way of Bhakti Yoga becomes easier. So thank you so much for your time. Hare Krishna.